William finally breaks. It's Harry or me. Charles's reunion plan in chaos. Christmas is set to be tense for the fractured family. Hello everyone. Welcome back to the King YouTube channel. For many of us, it truly is the most wonderful time of the year. But for King Charles and Prince William, this festive season is shaping up to be anything but wonderful. They have survived many storms together recently, but reportedly, the king and his heir do not agree on who is going to be invited to Sandringham for their family's traditional Christmas lunch. Reports are claiming that Charles wants to include Harry and Meghan, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, but William is opposed to this idea. He even threatened to boycott the event if they do show up. Royal expert Jenny Bond told The Sun William has closed his mind to the prospect of reconciliation with Prince Harry. Wills won't be shedding a tear if Harry is not there at Christmas, according to Jenny. Harry has not spent Christmas in the UK since 2018, and sources claim that he's starting to feel more homesick of late. Harry and Meghan are based in the US, and they have tried to give their invisible children Artificial and Invisibet a British-style Christmas in Montecito, supposedly, but it is not the same thing as the real thing. Another source spoke with the Daily Express, saying Harry wants to spend more time in the UK to be closer to the family and friends he's kept in touch with. But the source notes it will be difficult to do that until he repairs relations with his family. Reportedly, the call that Harry and Meghan supposedly made to the king earlier this month for his 75th birthday marked a turning point in their relationship. Reportedly, the king talked with Harry and Meghan for the first time in 6 months, and he was happy to get a video of his Sussex grandkids singing him happy birthday. In spite of everything that has happened, Charles has never really shut the door on Harry. In the past, he invited Meghan and Harry to Balmoral to mark the first anniversary of the late Queen's death, an offer that Harry and Meghan ended up rejecting. Even though it looks like there might be a thawing in relations between Charles and Harry, reportedly William is still firmly opposed to the idea of spending Christmas with Harry or Meghan. The main obstacle, according to the source who spoke with the Daily Express, will be William because of the terrible accusations that were leveled at him and his wife. There are reports that things are so bad that if Meghan and Harry do dare to show up, William and Catherine are going to choose to avoid an awkward scene by spending the holiday season with the Middletons instead. According to royal editor Sarah Hewson, William and Catherine aren't yet ready to play happy families. So it looks like King Charles has found himself smack dab in the middle of this fight between his sons. One possible solution would be for William and Catherine and their children to enjoy Christmas with the king at Sandringham. And then the king can host Harry and Meghan and their invisible children at Balmoral for New Year. The Waleses are expected to be at Admer Hall, their country home in Norfolk, on that occasion anyway. Honestly, though, I still cannot wrap my head around the fact that Mr. and Mrs. Spare want to be invited by the king to spend Christmas with him, just as Meghan's book Endgame is about to come out. Her bestie and her mouthpiece Scooby-Doo, presumably with her blessing, tells everybody that she has no intention or desire to return to the UK ever. Well, at least that is some very good news for the citizens of the UK, and I assume the royal family feels the same. At least they can be spared the need to be watchful all the time while Meghan and Harry are around. The invite is probably going to get lost in the mail. For Meghan and Harry and their fake offspring, it looks like it could be a very lonely Christmas indeed. But honestly, they only have themselves to blame for that. And Scooby-Doo, the author dubbed Meghan's mouthpiece, repeats previous claims that Meghan never wants to set foot in England again, that she never felt at home in the UK, and she never wants to be involved in the British monarchy again. Well, I hope that's a promise. Truth be told, Meghan never wanted any of that in the first place. She just wanted the titles and she wanted the money. And now she's gone back to where she started out as an influencer who's got a blog. Well, good luck to Meghan. Meghan is not well suited to the job of being a royal, and she has no business being a member of the British royal family either. If you ask me, there's no reason whatsoever for Meghan to use those titles, and no valid reason for the invisible kids to have titles or be in the line of succession. And Harry feels the same way, so I think this is a great time for Harry to offer to give up those titles and to remove himself from the line of succession. Neither one of them are fit for royal service. They're self-obsessed, selfish people who are preoccupied with really unhealthy lifestyles. They're abusive towards their own families. They take drugs. They're materialistic. They're greedy. All Meghan and Harry care about is fame and money and getting to rub elbows with real A-listers at pop concerts. There is simply no room in the royal family for those two. Meghan and Harry are simply unsuitable to be representatives of the UK and the Commonwealth. I don't think there's ever been anybody in history who was made a princess of a nation and essentially spat in the face of the people who gave her those honors in the first place. When she was on the hunt for a husband before she met Harry, she was doing it in London, and she told her friend that she wanted to meet an English gentleman or something like that. See, when Meghan doesn't succeed at something, she has to blame somebody else. She was a failure as a royal, she was a failure when it came to observing British tradition, and so now she has to blame the royals and Great Britain as a whole. She cannot take responsibility for her own mistakes. Meghan has demonstrated that she doesn't care about family values. I mean, she plowed through her own family, abusing them to such a ridiculous degree that her father and sister had to take legal action against her slander. I mean, she has nothing to do with the black side of her family either. She despises her white family. She has ripped her family to shreds. And as soon as she and Harry got together, well, she started with his family. The truth is, Meghan is not capable of really caring about another person. And she's destined to figure out exactly why family is so important in the end. Her own kids, again, if they're even real, are going to figure out the truth when they get older. She must not like them either to deliberately and vindictively separate them from every relative they have and deprive them of the joy of family. I mean, she is such a malignant narcissist. I swear that woman does not have a shred of decency in her entire body. I'm beginning to suspect that Meghan may have been banned from the UK by the government. But she's not going to tell that, is she? As usual, she has to try to save face whenever she doesn't get invited to something. Was there or was there not a report recently claiming that they were wanting to join the royal family at Sandringham with heightened security? And I remember Meghan was saying that she would never come back to the UK, and then she showed up as a guest speaker for One World. Now, they didn't invite her again. I guess she was just too conceited. And if I recall, she mentioned her own name way too many times without actually talking about the issues. But this statement written by Scooby-Doo did make me wonder if she's been banned. It wouldn't shock me a bit. No country can afford this kind of toxicity coming from this talentless woman who can only cite concern of his skin color as racist. In the Netflix Mock You series, you could easily see how she was disgusted at being perceived as black by the UK media. But then she turned around and went to South Africa, claiming that she was their sister. The UK did not get permission from Meghan to be called black, which it's safe to assume she was implying to the women who were gathered at her feet. I mean, the thought of Meghan standing over them like she's better than them makes me feel absolutely sick. I do have a bit of good news to share, though. Whatever happens, it's going to be a full house of Sandringham for Christmas this year because Queen Camilla's kids and her grandkids are going to join the festivities as well. So this is going to be the first time that Tom Parker Bowles and Laura Lopez, Camilla's children, with her first husband, Andrew Parker Bowles, have been invited to spend Christmas at the royal residence. An insider reports the addition of the Queen's family means extra space is needed. It would have the advantage of killing two birds with one stone, according to a source who spoke with the Mail Online, extending an olive branch to one son without causing difficulty to the other. And you, what do you think about this news? Please tell me your opinion below in the comments. If you think my video is useful, don't be afraid to like and share it with anybody else who would love it anytime you want. And don't be afraid to click the subscribe button to get more updates in the future. Thank you so much for tuning in, have a lovely weekend, and we'll be back to see you all tomorrow.